Hello and welcome back to Stardew Valley, What the Valley Has to Offer, where I play through Stardew Valley on different farms, focusing on different professions, and romancing different NPCs. This is our fishing playthrough on the beach farm while romancing Elliot, and we are going to go ahead and jump right in to Spring 2. Hello everyone, we are finally on Spring 2 of this challenge. Now, I want to take some time to go over the goals I set at the beginning of this challenge, as I really haven't been keeping you updated on them here in-game. So we're going to take a second to go over that, talk about what I feel I've accomplished, and what we have yet to accomplish. So there were 4 main goals for this challenge. Get 14 hearts with my spouse and get their 14 heart event. Complete the community center, we're doing the remix bundles, decorate the farm, and catch every fish. I have not gotten 14 hearts with Elliot. I am working on the brewer's bundle, and I need some apples for the bulletin board for our community center. And catching every single fish is locked behind the community center because I cannot get to Ginger Island or open the second part of the sewer until the community center is finished. Now, you could say my farm is really nicely decorated, it's got pathways, it looks cute, it's well put together, but there are some finishing touches I want to add, namely adding lights. So as of right now, I don't feel like I've completed a single goal in this challenge, which is a little crazy going into year 2. So, the big things that we need to do are unlock Ginger Island so I can finally catch all of the fish, marry Elliot, and of course get his 14 heart cutscene, and lastly finish the community center. That being said, I really need to get my farming up, so the first thing we're going to do today is prep the farm and plant some veggies because kegs are on the horizon. Now, I have been saying kegs are on the horizon for way too long. If you remember back to the last week of fall, I tried to get my farming level up and get kegs, and that ended in absolute disaster. So I have been waiting for kegs for so long, and I can keep saying they're on the horizon, but let's be honest, they are still quite a ways out. But life goes on, and spring is the perfect time to get my farming level up by many levels, especially when potatoes exist. Potatoes are quick growing, and while they don't offer a crazy amount of XP, they grow quickly and are cheap. Okay, another cutscene for Elliot. Is this the one where we kiss? I can't wait. Iridium ore from our geode! Yes! Now is a great time to talk about how much iridium we actually have and what we still need. I have been able to make 3 iridium bars for the boat, and that means we need 2 more because I believe we need a total of 5. We just got 6 iridium ore, so that is 1 more bar in the bag. It was a really action-packed day, so I was glad to be able to get to bed and tuck in, because the next day there was just as much going on. What do my squid need? Well, I don't have any of those on hand, so I'll have to pick one up later. There wasn't a scarecrow over here, and I was so sad to realize that a crow got one of my potatoes! But life goes on, so I headed to the desert, hoping to get some iridium ore, because I was so close to having the 5 bars. So I jumped in there and was collecting resources, including stone and other ores, when I got this really cool hole that I was able to jump into. And while fighting this slime, I ended up slaying it and getting some iridium ore, which was super awesome. But I also got to fight this iridium bat, which I also slayed to get iridium ore. Yes! Okay, if I'm correct, I have 3 iridium ore at home, and this should make enough to get 1 more iridium bar. Unfortunately, I was not correct. No, dang it. I am 1 iridium short. Hopefully we can find some here in these Omni Geodes. So I put the Omni Geodes on to crack open and headed to bed for a good night's rest. The next day, I went straight to Robbins to construct yet another fish pond because I needed a fish pond to hold the legend, which I was so confident that I was going to catch on the first rainy day of spring. Of course, I wanted to have the pond ready when that happened. Then I headed down to the beach for some sea urchins and got a surprise.
Scene. Oh, I totally forgot this was supposed to happen. I never came down here. Oh. Hey. Look, I fixed up that old rowboat that's been sitting by my house. Pretty nice, huh? Marin, would you do me the honor of joining me for her maiden voyage? So, my book's been out for a while now. It's not a bestseller or anything, but it's been getting some good reviews from the critics. Sorry, good reviews from the critics. And I really couldn't have finished it without your moral support. Actually, that's not true at all. I would have finished it either way. But I am grateful that you believed in me, in my vision, and well, Marin, how do I say this? Well, we've been friends for a while now, but I'm I'm not sure if I feel that way about you anymore. No, I'm not saying I want to cut all ties with you. In fact, quite the opposite. Let's see. How do I put this? For once, I'm at a loss for words. He kissed me! Marin, you're trembling. I'm happy, of course. So am I. It's excited trembles, everyone, if that wasn't clear. Uh-oh, the vibration from your body has caught the attention of the crimson fish. We better get out of here. Boy, I already caught the crimson fish. What do you mean? Look at the valley from here. It finally looks like home. Ah, what a day. Well, there you have it, folks. We had our first kiss. How romantic.
After that, I wanted to do this secret note, so I headed up by the train tracks and got myself a treasure chest. Then, with a good but long day under my belt, I went to sleep.
It's a rainy day. That's just so exciting. There are two things we need to do. We need to get that mermaid pendant so we can propose to Elliot, and it is time to fish up the legend.
So, with the magic of editing, I'll show you how all of that went.
It is time. We're gonna get the mermaid pendant. Oh, I'm so excited. We got it. There it is. Oh man, this is great. I can't wait. We're gonna go give it to Elliot right now. Elliot, my love, will you marry me? I accept. I'll set everything up. We'll have a ceremony in 3 days, okay? Yay! Oh, this is awesome. I can't wait.
But there was more to do today, so with a little buff to my fishing level, I went fishing for the legend. And I ended up hooking the legend several times, but he was way harder than I remembered. And no matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't seem to get him, and I was feeling really frustrated and really discouraged. There were a couple times where I got really close to getting him, and then totally just let it go and he escaped. I was feeling so frustrated, and it was getting really, really late into the day.
I was so close. I almost had him, and I am beyond frustrated.
So I kept going, determined to get him today, but it was 2 a.m. and unfortunately, I passed out.
I am so frustrated that I didn't catch the legend. He's a lot harder than I remember, and I'm grumpy about it.
So, to cheer myself up, I went over to Elliot to talk to him, and it worked. He was so sweet.
Aw, we're going to make a great pair. That's cute.
By this time in the week, it was Friday, so I went to the traveling cart hoping to get something for the community center, but there was nothing. I did grab some seafoam pudding for next time I tried to attempt the legend, and when I got home, I took care of some sea urchins.
So it's really important that we switch into our wedding dress before the day of our wedding. And since I can't remember if it's going to be tomorrow or on Sunday, we're going to go ahead and put on the wedding dress now. Don't I look so beautiful? There, gave you a shot of all angles. And we'll see how it goes. If the wedding is not tomorrow, then I get to enjoy my wedding dress for a whole day. And if it is tomorrow, then I'm going to be the most beautiful bride. Alright, so it looks like the wedding's not today, so you all get to enjoy me running around in my wedding dress.
And our potatoes were finally grown. I was so excited and, of course, desperately hoping to level up.
It is time for our first potato harvest, and hopefully we get a good level up and kegs will be on the way. There it is, a level up. I can't remember if I need one more level up to get kegs or two, so we'll find out tonight.
Unfortunately, I only reached level 7 in farming, so no kegs tonight, but life goes on. I went into the mines to look for iridium ore, and it all worked out for me because I eventually did get it.
I caught the iridium ore we needed. No way! I'm on level 1 and it's a bad luck day. This is crazy.
After that, I went to Robbins to request the construction of my very last fish pond. With this, my entire farm was going to be full of fish ponds. And I was feeling pretty excited about it. It was really coming together, and I loved the way everything looked. Of course, to continue decorating my farm, there was more I wanted to do. I went ahead and started setting up a space where I could put kegs after I leveled up. I was super, super excited and ready to get the brewer's bundle done. I made a quick trip to the quarry and found something really cool there.
Guys, we've got our redemption arc. We have another ancient seed, of course. The last one we planted in fall and it didn't grow, and I was so disappointed. But we have a second chance! And that's our 5th iridium bar. So we have 5 iridium bars, 5 batteries, 100 hardwood. So when it is time to fix up Willie's boat, we are all set.
With such a long and crazy day, I was really excited to tuck into bed, but I was even more excited to tuck into bed because tomorrow was finally going to be my wedding day.
Oh, darn it, darn it, darn it! We need one more level of farming in order to do kegs. It's level 8. So hopefully we can get that soon. Oh, this is so exciting and cute. When Marin first arrived in Pelican Town, no one knew if she'd fit in with our community. But from this day forward, Marin is going to be as much of a part of this town as any of us. It is my great honor on this day, 7th of spring, to unite Marin and Elliot in the bonds of marriage. He's blocking the view of my beautiful dress, and I don't appreciate it. Well, let's get right to it. Elliot, you may kiss. Yay! We look so good together! Life is going to be different from now on. But the future looks bright. Here I am, newly married with my husband. The wedding was wonderful, wasn't it, dear? Aw, thanks. I think so too. Oh, you've plucked Pelican's Town's finest flower. Now you must care for it with all your heart. What about taking care of me, Elliot? You're so self-absorbed, dude. All right, there is still lots of work to be get done, so let's get to it.
The first thing I did was get this ink and immediately gift Elliot. I was just feeling so good. And after that, something really crazy and really exciting happened.
Another ancient seed? What is this?
Then it was time to stop at the traveling cart once again.
My fish need a nautilus shell, so I'm gonna pick that up. But no apple. Oh, things are not looking good.
As soon as I got back, I went ahead and took care of my sturgeon so they were happy.
This totally clashes with my wallpaper. And it did something funky to my squid poster.
So I quickly rearranged the house and put everything back in order.
But otherwise, it's not actually a bad place. I am surprised that he didn't bring his writing desk over, but whatever. At the beginning of this week, I was really confident we were going to get everything finished by spring 1, and I was so excited. But now I am kind of stressing because I didn't catch the legend, and I can only catch him on rainy days. And there is one glaring issue I keep forgetting. And that is the fodder bundle. So I still need one more apple for the fodder bundle. And right now I am just waiting on the traveling merchant and the bat cave for fruits. And everything else I need to complete is locked behind this apple. So I am stressing because the legend is a lot harder to catch than I realized. And everything else I need to do is pretty much locked behind completing the community center. So we shall see how it goes, but I am worried.
So with the looming threat of failure over my head, I tucked into bed.
It is week 2, and I'm not sure what to do, because all I am waiting on is an apple and kegs and a rainy day, so we'll see what's in it for me.
I'm gonna go ahead and steamroll all together the exciting things that happened this week before we get into the technical and somewhat sad things that happened this week. So I started by taking care of some of my fish. Both my lava eels and my squid needed some things for their fish ponds, and I was able to get that done for them. And then when I was on the beach, I found something really cool.
Got a witch hat! A witch hat! What?
I had never gotten a witch hat before, and I really didn't want it to go to waste sitting in a drawer never being used. So the first thing I did was head to Robbins and request the construction of a brand new pet bowl, because I was going to get a pet to wear the witch hat. Now, I really had 2 options for the pets that I wanted. I could get a white cat or a black cat, because I felt like both of them would fit the witch hat so well. So we brought back our old friend, the spinner, to pick which new pet we were gonna get. And we ended up landing on the white cat, which I was pretty excited for because I was pretty sure it would contrast well with the black hat. So I went ahead and purchased my cat and named her Lilith, because I thought that was a really witchy name. And when we got home, the first thing I did was put the wonderful witch hat on her. Of course, in week 2 of spring, we also have the Egg Festival, which I smashed out of the park and won. This is where the good news gets bad, because this entire week, there was no rain whatsoever. I checked the weather every day hoping for rain, and it was sunny every single day, which meant I didn't have a single opportunity to catch the legend this week. On top of that, my fruit cave did not produce a single apple, and I checked all the time. And as the cherry on top, there was no apples in the traveling cart. So this week was a total bust on trying to move forward and complete my goals, and I was just feeling devastated. I had the opportunity to harvest crops twice this week, but still no level up and still no kegs. Luckily, throughout all of this, Elliot was my rock, and he was able to just get me through the rough parts of the week. And by the end of the week, I was on track for the 14 heart event, so that was good. Finally, on Sunday, I received the last bit of news for the week, and it was about the Desert Festival.
Maybe someone will sell an apple. Or something for the Brewers bundle. I guess we're gonna go to the Calico Desert Festival, guys.
Unfortunately, I kind of ended this week crashing out because I just didn't understand how I was going to complete this challenge in the time frame I had set for myself, which was to be able to be completely finished by spring year 2, and I was feeling so down.
Oh my goodness. We ended this week in defeat. We didn't do a single thing to get us closer to completing this challenge. There were no apples. I didn't level up in farming, so there are no kegs for the community center. There were no rainy days, so there was no fishing for the legend. Oh my goodness. Oh, what if I can't do it?
But life moves on, and we started off week 3 with the Desert Festival. But we're going to go over the fun parts of the Desert Festival first, starting with Emily giving me some cool outfits for each day of the festival.
I don't hate it. It's cute, but I don't know. The shirt kind of feels more colder weather vibes. Flintstones in the house today, I guess. I love this outfit. I think it's so cute. What is this top? I like it. Well, what do we have here? A beautiful desert rose. He's flirting with me.
Of course, in our fishing playthrough, we of course had to defeat Willie's fishing challenges. So the first day, I fished up 3 sandfish, and the second day, I fished up a scorpion carp. The third day is always the hardest day because you have to find Willie's golden bobber. It usually takes a couple fish, but I was able to get it almost immediately, and I completed the fishing challenges, smashing them out of the park. Of course, all 3 days I checked the traveling cart for an apple, but I was just disappointed every time.
Please, please, please. I need an apple. No apples. I need an apple, please. Okay, you're gonna shove it in my face with a cherry and not an apple. No apple.
So my last hope for apples was buying it from the villagers, but that was also a bust.
So the shop owners today are Jas and Clint, and I don't have high hopes for either of them having apples. Well, I highly doubt either of these people are going to have apples.
I didn't have footage of the people for the middle day of the festival, but it was Pierre and Jas. So nobody had apples, and I was so sad. However, I did end off by getting a cactus from the Cactus Man.
This is the ugliest cactus I have ever seen.
Outside of the Desert Festival, life went on as normal. I continued to take care of the fish in my fish ponds, and I even added a final fish to my final fish pond. Lastly, there was another spring harvest.
Please have a level up.
And of course, I was desperate for a level up because time was ticking away and I wasn't closer to kegs. At least it sure didn't feel like it. Lucky for me, I had more vegetables growing, and the very next day, I was able to do another harvest.
We have leveled up. Oh my gosh, kegs tomorrow, and then we can finish the Brewers Bundle in the community center. Yes!
So I ran to bed that night, ready to make kegs the next day.
There they are, the kegs. Yes, this is so exciting. A glimmer of hope in dark times. So I am waiting on some iron to smelt to make more kegs, but we only really need one keg to make some wine. So we're gonna go ahead and put that down. This is so exciting. We're gonna make some peach wine.
Unfortunately, this week we were also met with disappointment as there was not a single rainy day this week, just like last week, which meant there wasn't a single opportunity to catch the legend. And I was starting to get so stressed that I wasn't going to catch the legend because there wouldn't be a rainy day. On top of that, there were no apples once again in my bat cave, which was also so crushing.
Just need an apple, and I've been needing an apple for so long. Of course. No apple for me.
On the bright side, I was finally able to craft up some lamps and place them around my farm, which meant I could finally cross off of my list decorating the farm. I had everything I wanted on my farm. Then I had Clint open a whole bunch of mystery boxes for me. I wasn't sure if I could get fruit in mystery boxes, but I was desperate, so I decided I'd have him open them all, and we could see what we got. Ultimately, though, I was disappointed.
Well, I wasn't sure if you could get fruit for mystery boxes, but I thought I'd try for an apple, and well, we didn't get one, but we did get this book.
Even though I didn't get an apple, I did get a cute conversation with Elliot where he told me he knew it was going to be a good day because he got a special feeling in his nose. And that was super cute. I was having a lot of fun being his spouse. I gifted him several times throughout the week, and when I talked to him one evening, something absolutely bonkers happened. Unfortunately, I didn't have all of the video for it, so you just get the end.
He gave me a star drop. He loves me. Does this mean we have 14 hearts? Not quite, but we got a star drop. How cool. This is it, guys. If she doesn't have an apple, I'm not gonna finish by the end of the season, and I don't know what I will do. That's it. No apple. Ugh. And even if by some miracle I manage to get an apple next season, I just don't think I'm going to have enough time to fix the boat, get to Ginger Island, and catch all of the fish, along with unlocking the Wizard's Talisman quest and getting the Void Salmon. Of course, we also have to remember that I still haven't caught the legend, and I can only catch him on rainy days, which there's only been one rainy day in spring so far, and without access to truffle oil, I can't make rain totems. So I'm not going to be able to finish this challenge in the time frame I set for myself, and I am just beyond disappointed.
So, with the crushing weight of failure, I went to bed feeling rather depressed.
I left off last week kind of explaining that I wasn't really going to be able to finish the challenge in the time period I had set for myself. But there's still one goal we haven't reached. that I am pretty confident that we can still reach. And that is getting Elliot's 14 heart event. Now you might be saying, well, that's kind of crazy. You still have 2 hearts left. But we have a secret weapon. The Star Drop Tea. So we're going to give this to him. At the very least, it should give us 1 extra heart. And then if we gift him twice this week and talk to him every day, I believe we will be able to get his 14 heart event this week. Here we go. Perfect. We only have 1 heart to go, so let's see if we can do it.
After that, I saw on the Help Wanted board, Willie wanted me to catch 3 catfish. So I jumped so crazy and accepted the quest because catfish can only be caught in the rain. So I was so sure that with this quest accepted, it had to rain in the next few days, which meant I could catch the legend.
Wait, I'm so confused. I didn't check the weather because I didn't want this disappointment, but I accepted the catfish request. So I thought it had to rain tomorrow. This is heartbreaking.
Feeling so depressed, I hopped right into bed and went to sleep. And I woke up tomorrow to Elliot being cute.
Where's the flower dance? And he looks forward to dancing with me. That's cute.
Of course, I made sure to gift him before I went off to take care of the rest of my farm, and my lava eels wanted something.
Whoa.
Despite my worries of them blowing up, I happily obliged them, and then went to bed because there was nothing else for me to do today. Of course, I made sure to gift Elliot before the flower dance.
He's asking me to dance? Oh, he's such a romantic, guys. I forgot, I'm such a disaster in my fishing outfit. I should have worn, like, my wedding dress or something else. I'm not even doing the dance right.
So after thorough public humiliation of being a complete disaster on all levels, the flower dance, of course, would have to draw to a close, and since it was a holiday, that meant most of the day would be taken up. But that was alright. Since I was stuck behind an apple after the flower dance, I just went home and tucked myself into bed. I started the next day by gifting Elliot, which was pretty normal, pretty awesome, and my wine was ready.
Yay!
With that in my pocket, I decided it was about time to fill out all that I could in the community center. So I headed up to the Brewer's Bundle and finally completed it. It had taken way too long. Of course, that meant that the Junimos completed this last little area. And I watched them give me yet another golden star. All I had left was the bulletin board and that stupid apple. Before bed, I completed my little keg area here, and then tucked into bed since I really had nothing to do. That night, the Junimos fixed the greenhouse for us, and I had a pretty good idea of what I wanted to do with the greenhouse. Next day was Friday, which meant I would be heading down to the Wandering Trader after a kiss.
Here's to hoping there's an apple.
Of course, once again, there was no apple, and to make matters worse, through the entire week of checking my fruit cave, there hadn't been a single apple there either. I didn't realize that apples were so rare to spawn. But ultimately, getting an apple was just a bust this week. There was still tomorrow and the Sunday traveling cart, but I'll give you a hint. It doesn't work out. Ultimately, I headed up to Robin's because I wanted to move the greenhouse. I decided in a playthrough that focuses on fishing, I should keep all of the farming into one little area, so I moved the greenhouse right over here next to the farm and the kegs. And you can say I'm taking up precious farming space, but the focus of this farm was never farming, so I thought it worked just perfect. After that, I tucked into bed for a good night's sleep.
Would be the last chance to catch the legend, so I might as well get it over with and see if we can do it or not. There you have it. No Legend Spring 2.
At this point, I was worrying we wouldn't get Elliot's 14 Heart Cut event either.
14 Heart cutscene? Marin, I've just received the most exciting news. It's very short notice, but I've been invited to do a reading tour for my book Blue Tower. I'll be out of town for a week. Will you be okay? Ha! Good one. Now don't get too excited. I'll be sure to write to you every day. I'll miss you. I'll leave early tomorrow morning. I need to pack. So that was his 14 Heart cutscene. But I'm wondering if there's more to it. Or if that's just it. Because that was kind of anticlimactic in my opinion. So I guess we'll see if there's any news in a week from now. But as far as getting the 14 Heart cutscene event, I think we can go ahead and check that off our list.
That final bottle of ink on that final Saturday of spring finally got us to the 14 Heart cutscene, and so I checked it off the list. I also picked up this cup of tea for something very special, something that has been quite the problem over many episodes now, and we finally get to resolve it.
We finally got them their green tea after like 3 seasons.
And we ended off the day on a cute and good note.
Really cool. When I behold thy wondrous face, a precious jewel of form and grace, my heart, torn by the dread of night, is purified with golden light. He recites poetry to me.
So, feeling full of love, I tucked into bed, ready for the last day of spring.
Okay, Elliot sends me letters. Marin, my love, I've just arrived in Grambleton to start the tour. I've forgotten how hectic the city is. The streets are packed with people. They either seem in a mad hurry or lost in a daze, unaware of their surroundings. I miss Pelican Town already. I begin the tour this evening at a local bookstore. I must admit, I'm becoming a bit nervous at the thought of public speaking. My stomach feels as if it's been twisted into a soft pretzel and doused with spicy cheese dip. Wish me luck. Love, Elliot. P.S. I hope you had a peaceful night and weren't too scared all alone in that big house. Okay, if he writes me letters every day for a week, that is like the cutest 14 Heart cutscene event. Let's see what she has. The Elliot portrait. But no apple.
So I had to walk away, feeling defeated. I just couldn't finish the challenge. Spring was over, and this was it.
The question is, what happens now? Very clearly, I have failed the challenge. My goal was to be finished by Spring 2, and I haven't unlocked the community center, which was the main goal. I haven't caught all the fish, which is the main goal for a fishing playthrough. And while I have gotten Elliot's 14 heart cut event, it's very clearly not finished. So, out of, my main goals, I've only completed one. So what happens next? Truth be told, the series continues. I want to finish. I want to unlock the community center. I want to see all of Elliot's letters and how his book reading goes. And quite frankly, I'm stuck behind an apple that is very out of my control to get. I could get it as soon as tomorrow in the Batcave, or I could not see an apple until fall when my apple tree produces one. And really, that's been out of my hands for most of the playthrough. Because I am limited. I am limited by focusing on fishing and not having a barn with pigs to get truffle oil and make a rain totem for the legend. I am bound by money, in which I can only sell fish and fish products. And that's kind of the whole point of a challenge, is to be challenging and to be different. So yes, did I fail? I did. I didn't finish in the time I wanted to. But I probably ended up with the hardest challenge for my first challenge, because I had to unlock extra things, including Ginger Island, the sewers, and the second part of the sewers. So, not only am I inexperienced in doing challenges, but overall, I got stuck with the hardest one on my very first try. So, the series will continue. I will keep working at it, and there will be one more episode. And this last episode is gonna wrap everything up. It doesn't matter if it takes 2 days or a whole nother season, but you can expect to see a finale and a proper end to this little arc. And then after that, it's back to the wheel, and we will spin for a new profession and a new farm and a new spouse, and we will be focusing on something all new, and I can't wait. I hope to see you then.
Thank you so much for watching Stardew Valley, What the Valley Has to Offer, episode 1.5. If you want to catch episode 1.6, or even the start of the next challenge in episode 2, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I look forward to seeing you again.